Good morning. So, it is a terrible day today. I'm going into work, and this is what I'm driving in right now. Can barely see a few truck links ahead of me. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video is I figured out what I wanted to do with this channel. I do want to make this channel about my car. I've looked online for modifications that I can do to my car, things like that. And, while I look up modifications for other cars, there's always a video available on them. Not this one. The only videos I've been able to find on YouTube about a Taurus SHO, the 2010s and newer, is dealership videos trying to sell you the car, as well as reviews and walkarounds with no actual anything about modifying the car, the performance of the car, things like that. So I decided I want to go ahead and do that with this channel. That being said, it's going to be a long time in between videos like this. This video was released like probably 2 months after my last video. And that's just because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with the channel. And now that I know what I want to do, I just need to save the money to do it. Because modifying the car is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Well, unless you're rich, maybe then it sound like it'd be cheap. But I was looking at a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to do is a 3-bar map sensor, which is the most expensive I've seen. It was like $75. So that's not a big deal. But with a 3-bar map sensor, it's not going to do any good until I get a tune on the car. What a 3-bar map sensor is going to do is going to allow my computer to register more boosts. With the map sensor that comes stock on the 2010 SHOs, even the newer ones, I believe it only registers up to 15 pounds of boost. And the twin turbo setup that Ford put on these EcoBoost motors is capable of putting out more boosts, but for reliability reasons or to keep things consistent, whatever the reason may be, they stuck a sensor on it that doesn't register above 15 psi. So with a 3-bar map sensor, it releases that restriction and allows the computer to register more boost, more pressure than just 15 psi. And what that's going to do is it'll allow me to tune the air to fuel mixture, increase the amount of fuel that gets in to potentially help it produce more power. So while the map sensor itself is not a big deal, it's only $75. To get it tuned, I'm looking at about $500 to get it professionally tuned. I have no idea how to tune a computer. I mean, if it was just other modifications, mechanical modifications, I can figure out how to do that myself in my front yard or my driveway. I've done it before. Modifications in driveways and whatnot. I've even replaced clutches in garages. And I don't have the experience in doing it. It's just when you don't have the money to pay a shop to do it, you do it yourself. And that's what I intend to do with all my modifications, short of the tune. I think the only exception to that would be if I upgrade the fuel pump, because it's a lot of bullshit you have to deal with in dropping the fuel tank to getting the fuel pump out. You got to drain it to make it lighter because gasoline is actually pretty heavy, especially in that amount. And then when there's other things in the way as well, so I don't want to deal with that. I'll pay someone to do the fuel pump. But for like the exhaust, as long as I don't have to weld anything, because I don't have a welder, I'll do that myself. I plan to upgrade my brakes. That I'm comfortable doing myself. I first started doing brakes on the pickup truck that a 2002 Silverado I had back in 2010. So basically when this car was in the showroom, and I learned from scratch there. I had to get to work. I didn't have the money to pay a shop to do the brakes. The brake parts themselves aren't that bad. So I did what anyone who's in that position would do. I went to AutoZone, bought me a Chilton or Hilton automotive repair manuals, and on my day off, I spent it replacing my brake rotors and pads. But yeah, that's the first modification I want to do is a 3-bar map sensor and a tune. just to free up all the power that Ford put under wraps, because these engines are capable of more horsepower. It's just Ford detuned it in the SHO for some reason. I mean, if you look at the Ford Raptor, it has the same EcoBoost motor, but it puts out more horsepower and more torque. So it definitely has the capabilities. You just got to get rid of the handicaps Ford put on this car. Oh shit, the rain is coming down even harder now. Take a look. You can barely see the car in front of me, and it's only about 3 car lengths ahead. So it's about time I wrap this up. But yeah, 3-bar map sensor tune. I also want to do an exhaust. I want to go ahead and get geez, I can't think of it right now. Do an exhaust, cold air intake. Cold air intake's more for looks at this point. With it being a turbocharged engine, it's going to get a lot of air, and I don't think an air filter really does that much of a difference on these cars, but whatever. I want to add a boost gauge to it, because it's a twin turbo car, but it doesn't tell me how much boost I'm using. So I need to get one of those installed. I just have to figure out where I want to put it. What else? I might upgrade the blow-off valve just because I like the sound. It should, from what I've read, it's not going to make a huge difference in power. It's more just the sound, and you know, the blow-off valve is a part that wears out. And my car has right now 105,000 miles. I seriously doubt it's been replaced before, so I'll go ahead and replace it and get one that sounds a little better. What else do I want to do? I'm gonna have to upgrade the spark plugs. The fuel injectors on this car should be good. I believe from what I read, they can handle a lot more PSI, or they can, with the flow that it has, it can handle a lot more PSI than what it currently runs. So I should be fine there. If that becomes a problem after my modifications, then of course I'll upgrade to higher pound or higher pressure fuel injectors, higher flow fuel injectors. Want to replace my brake lines. I need to get new tires for this car. Now, if I had the machine, I would just buy the tires and mount them myself. I know how to do that. I used to work in the shop, and that's where I learned how to mount, balance, and repair tires. I plastic dipped my rims on the car, the grill, and the chrome pieces on the back, but I believe I mentioned that in the previous video. I think in the previous video, though, I didn't do my rims yet, but I did my rims now, and they look great, and I plan to paint my calipers red as well. But that's all to come in the future. I need to save up the money for this, which is not going to be easy, because I am literally living paycheck to paycheck. Actually, ever since I had my surgery, I'm living a paycheck behind to a paycheck behind. And this week is not any better, because I didn't get paid this week while they finalize my FMLA for time off that I've taken a while back. So while that gets finalized, I should be receiving my paycheck later on this week. And then any money that I have extra from there is actually going to be used for my road trip. I'm actually heading from Tennessee to Arizona for my 10-year high school graduation. I'm kind of dating myself here. Most people who can do the math, 10 years, most people graduate 17, 18. Makes you able to figure out what my age is. But yeah, I have my 10-year high school graduation, or high school reunion, that I plan to go to. It'd be cool to hang out with a couple of my high school buddies. If nothing else, I still have a ton of friends that I keep in touch with over there, so we might just go hang out and do whatever. I'm actually still going to be working while I'm over there, but my job has an office out in Arizona, so they just told me I could work out of Chandler because they couldn't approve my time off for that time, or for the time period. So I may record some videos about the road trip of anything I find. I may not. It's going to be a 24-hour road trip, and I have to be there. Oh, excuse me. And I have to be there basically the next day. I get off work on a Tuesday, I have the Wednesday off, and then I have to work Thursday. So in order to get there on time, I'm going to have to leave Tennessee Tuesday after work. So I'm going to be loaded up on 5 Hour Energy, Red Bulls, and I'm going to go on my road trip. But people are starting to drive a little reckless right now, especially for the rain, so I'm going to have to go focus on driving. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.